It's incredibly disappointing. Fox had an outro for this whole X-Men universe 2 years ago with a little film called Logan. That movie did a great job of giving Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart final performances and the opportunity to wrap up their characters. Additionally, it showed that the world would not end well for these characters.
I gave you a family.
They're gone now.
Consequently, Logan made re-entry into the franchise a bit more sobering when you're forced to recognize that all the mutants' efforts will inevitably lead to destruction. However, Deadpool 2 last year demonstrated these films still have an issue of disregarding continuity.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
So it's safe to assume the grim end in Logan only applied to the more serious movies. Nevertheless, these movies must be judged by their own merits, not by what they bring to their franchise. Most movies don't even have a franchise. Any movie can work as long as it's strong enough on its own. But to place it in its oeuvre, Dark Phoenix is a direct sequel to the disappointing X-Men Apocalypse. That movie ended with Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence, training the new class of X-Men, Jean Grey, Sophie Turner, Cyclops, Ty Sheridan, Storm, Alexandra Shipp, Nightcrawler, Kodi, Smit-McPhee, and Quicksilver, Evan Peters, with the help of Beast, Nicholas Hoult, and under the supervision of Charles Xavier, James McAvoy. Cut to the future, though it is unclear how far in the future we are. It clearly isn't modern day yet. It's sometime between X-Men Apocalypse and 2000's X-Men, so 1983 to 2000. The story begins with a space mission that encounters a strange cloud that is damaging their shuttle. The president calls Xavier and asks his X-Men to save the day. And just like that, the class goes into space. Everyone gets a little bit to do. They even give Cyclops a bizarre contraption that allows him to shoot his optic blast out of the ship, rather than just giving the ship weapons. Quicksilver's big job is to help gear up Nightcrawler before he teleports around. Also, somehow Storm can't control the weather in the vacuum of space. This all seems legit and not forced to make sure every character gets something to do. Anyways, while saving the astronauts, Jean Grey is attacked by the strange cloud, and from there quickly begins to lose control of her powers. During this, it becomes clear that the characters of Jean Grey, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Cyclops are not well defined. They were introduced in the last movie, and here we are expected to care about them, but neither movie has displayed who they are. Jean Grey essentially goes power mad, while Cyclops, Storm, and Xavier claim this isn't really her, and as an audience, we simply just have to take them at their word, because as far as we know, this could be her. To add to it, we also get a group of shape-shifting aliens led by Jessica Chastain, who wants the power Jean got from the cloud. Apparently, the cloud destroyed their planet, and they can use the power of the cloud to turn Earth into a replica of their planet, because presumably that plot hasn't been done to death yet.
If Krypton lives again, what happens to Earth?
The foundation has to be built on something. Even your father recognized that.
Jean eventually goes to Magneto for advice on how she can control her power, which now begs the question, how do these two know each other? They shared a brief wordless scene while rebuilding the mansion in X-Men Apocalypse, and now it seems like they're friends. When did this happen? Also, apparently Magneto's in charge of a mutant reservation. What could it be? Is this Genosha? Are these perhaps the Morlocks with Magneto? Who knows? Who cares? This movie clearly doesn't. One major character dies, and yes, the trailer totally reveals who it is. During that same battle, Quicksilver is injured, and despite having accelerated healing, he will be down for the rest of the movie. Since this is the last X-Men movie, they probably should have just killed him off too. I was never a fan of Halle Berry's Storm, although I did think she got better with each progressive movie. That being said, she also had a real screen presence that Shipp completely lacks. Storm is just in the background, and if she suddenly stopped appearing in the movie, I doubt I would have noticed. In fact, it was quite the opposite. Every time she popped up, it was like a reminder, oh yeah, Storm is here too. I've already gone over lots of little points that do not work in this movie, but all of it can be boiled down to one basic premise. No one here is an actual character. These are all properties. Not a single character has personality or motivations, but rather perform actions because that's what the script says. Additionally, many fans are pointing out that Dark Phoenix is happening too early in the franchise and needs to establish its characters first. It's not completely true. You can do whatever story you want at whatever time you want, assuming you have established your characters. Ergo, if they weren't established before, you have to establish them here. However, Dark Phoenix has no time to do any setups or give characters motivations. It just propels them through the script as fast as possible. It's best represented by the ending. Spoiler alert, at the end we see the school being renamed the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters, and Beast now runs it. We see Xavier out getting coffee with Magneto. It was never established that Xavier wanted to or should leave, so you can interpret the ending as Xavier retiring and passing the torch to Beast. But since nothing has been established, you could also interpret it as Beast unilaterally deciding to rename the school and take over while Xavier's without getting a cup of joe. The franchise has a suitable final chapter with Logan. Rather than go out on that note, they decide to stretch out this universe for one more film, and force this universe to go out not with a bang, but with a whimper. It won't be shocking to learn that much of this movie was left on the editing room floor to make it shorter for more show times, and perhaps a lot of establishing stuff did exist at one point. However, we have to judge the movie we have, not the movie we should have. And what we have is a movie plot where characters are nothing more than very expensive props. Dark Phoenix has no soul.
You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech. But nobody cares anymore.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.